It's that time of the year. Your vacation is coming up. You can already hear the beach waves, feel the warm breeze, relax, and think about work. You really, really want it all to work out while you're away. Monday.com gives you and the team that peace of mind. When all work is on one platform and everyone's in sync, things just flow. Wherever you are, tap the banner to go to Monday.com.
You know, Robert was doing audio tests for me right now. That's how, if you guys want to know what the fancy stuff Robert and I talk about off the air, like testing audio and about traffic, right here on RulaskaThoughts. Cue the sniper, girl. I didn't get to see Robert in the world. He was busy doing nothing. Why am I choosing these words that don't rhyme with each other? Anyway, welcome to RulaskaThoughts. My name is Joe Batance, and we are doing just as pointless of an episode, but that's not entirely true. We're going to have a new segment today.
Are we?
Yeah.
I love learning things as the audience learns them.
No, it's easy. It's easy. And I'll explain it during the show, but let me bring him on. He's the queen of the universe, at least my universe. He's the one, the only... I'm sloppy, he's poppy. Mr. Roberto Mata. Hello, Robert.
Hello, Joe. I wasn't busy doing nothing.
I was not Wayne Brady this week. I gotta be honest with you. I should have thought out what I was gonna say or something like that. But yeah, everybody. Hi, welcome to RulaskaThoughts. Robert and I are here. We're gonna talk, I guess, as much as we can about the latest episode. But let me tell you what this new segment is now, Robert.
Okay.
So I was seeing the discourse on Reddit and other places about how good Canada versus the World Season 2's premiere episode was.
Oh.
And I was like, oh, that's interesting. And I was like, should I actually watch the show? That's something I want to do. And I was like, no, I hate Brooklyn Heights. So the new segment is... We tried to do this with a show with a straight guy. Have you ever heard of the show Camp Wanakiki?
Yeah.
Okay. We tried to do this with Camp Wanakiki because Lori and I got so tired of watching the show. Like, what if we have someone on who just tells us what happened and then we react to that? And I think we're going to do that segment for Canada versus the World. I just can't have Brooklyn Heights on my screen. I'm sorry.
Well, she's had so much filler and plastic work done that she looks nothing like the arrogant, smug twink that aged twink that you saw in season 11. Mm-hmm. It's a whole new person.
But we'll do that later. Before we do that, I want to talk about a few things. One, all kinds of content behind a paywall over at patreon.com/afterthoughtmedia. Like I said, if you do the exclusive or executive tier, you have a 7-day free trial you can do. Check it out. Joe's always talking about Patreon. What is it? You can do a 7-day free trial. Lots of stuff, out there. There's the best of today. There is, I don't know. There's a show, depending on the tier you're at, there's a show nearly every day. Okay?
Which is crazy.
It is crazy. You're telling me. It's unsustainable. Part 2 is the tea. And I did a test. I took my parents' phone. I did this test. I teased this on Recap. Yeah, if you put in the tea into the search bar on Apple Podcasts or on Spotify, we are the first show that comes up, it's a big jump for us. So if you want to find the tea, I no longer have to put links in your favorite podcast catcher, your favorite podcast app. Go to the search bar, put in the tea. You're going to look for a blue background with Lori's unpleasant face. Not it's unpleasant. She looks like she's not. Like she's in the sense that no, not
okay. What is the truth?
Not in the sense that she's ugly. In the sense that she looks very upset.
Okay.
In the photo, yeah.
Lori's so the difference between looking irritable and looking irritated.
Yes. Anyway, why don't we do this? Like wait, really quickly, Robert, how's everything going? You're good?
I'm splendid. I love summertime. It's literally sunshine and rainbows over here.
Oh no, I hate heat.
I love heat. I'm a lizard. I'm going to go barbecue later today, just in my little black Speedo at the pool, and I'm just going to suck up all the heat while my chicken legs are going.
Do you really go in a Speedo by the pool in your apartment complex?
Yeah, I don't want tan lines.
Oh my God, Mama. She's just trying
Plus,
to get
I
all
live
the
in West
gays.
Hollywood. There are tons of little jotitos here.
I know, but you know what you're doing when you do that.
Do you think I'm the only gay in a Speedo at the pool?
Did I say that? Did I say you're the only gay?
No, you didn't say it.
Okay. I just said that you know what you're doing when you do that.
Yeah, I'm tanning.
Are you, though? Are you
Yeah,
tanning?
I'm actually a nice golden crisp right now.
All right, guys, we're going to take a break. When we come back, we're going to talk about the episode. We'll be back right after this.
Hey, it's Kaylee Cuoco for Priceline. Ready to go to your happy place for a happy price? Well, why didn't you say so? Just download the Priceline app right now and save up to 60% on hotels. So whether it's Cousin Kevin's Kazoo Concert in Kansas City, go Kevin, or Becky's Bachelorette Bash in Bermuda, you never have to miss a trip ever again. So download the Priceline app today. Your savings are waiting.
Go to your happy place for a happy price. Go to your happy price, Priceline.
Greetings, I'm Bernard.
And I'm Magenta. You might know us from such hit podcasts as Madame Magenta Sonus Mystica.
Horror anthology Magenta Presents.
Or Season 3 of Mockery Manor.
We're everywhere.
And we're spreading faster than an STD in an old folks' home because now we have a brand new podcast. Wham!
Wham! It's a fun acronym that stands for We Have a Movie.
Oh, it's not just an acronym, Bernard.
It's not?
It's a chat podcast where we invent smash hit Hollywood movies based on popular toys.
If you like the Barbie movie and you want to see similar treatments of your favourite childhood toys, I'll wager you'll like Wham! With episodes on Polly Pocket, Rubik's Cube, Game Boy, Strawberry Shortcake,
Furby, Connect 4, and lots of other nostalgia bait. But it's not just for adults who still like toys. It's a podcast for anyone who loves Hollywood tropes and comedy.
and quantum mechanics.
And BDSM.
Wham has something for everyone, but is still specifically about movies.
That's Wham. W-H-A-M. You know, like when Batman punches someone.
Yes.
Adam West. That Batman.
Exactly.
Not the Christopher Nolan one.
No.
Download it anywhere you listen to podcasts. That's what the world needs, another movie podcast.
Was that clear? Maybe I shouldn't have mentioned quantum mechanics.
And we are back. So, Taylor and I did a full recap of All Stars 9, episode 11. What is it called again? All Stars Variety Extravaganza Part 1, I believe is what it's called. Let me look at my... Yep. No, I'm sorry. Grand Finale Variety Extravaganza Part 1 is the name of the episode. And in my recent memory, I can't think of a time... And I was texting Robert this, he had yet to watch the episode, is that like it's not uncommon for us to say the show like nothing happened. But what we mean, there was no bombshell, there was no like twist, there was no big drama. But things happened, people went home, all that. This is an episode where truly nothing happened. No, people didn't even win the mini challenge. So Robert, you just watched the episode. I have no idea what your thoughts are. Give us your thoughts after having watched the episode.
I was curious to know what people who did not know what the episode was going to be about thought as the episode went on. Like, at what point did they become crestfallen because they realized there wouldn't be a runway? Mm-hmm. At what point were they frustrated that there wasn't going to actually be the talent show quite yet? That we're just going to kind of get very lightly teased about a talent show that's ultimately probably just going to be several lip sync numbers that we've, flapped our jaw about several times before. Mm-hmm. There was no drag. Did that matter? I guess there was all that quick drag with the crew, which I thought was cute.
Sure.
It didn't quite recapture the magic from the season 9 makeover. Mm-hmm. But I don't need 8 different crew members angling to try to be the next Wintergreen. So A little bit of time goes a long way there, I think. But what a weird episode. If I was at the bar, actually, some of my friends asked me on Friday, "Hey, let's go to the bar and watch Drag Race like we used to," and it would have been the most hilariously unsatisfying experience. I should have gone just for that. I would have cackled the whole time just because it's so silly.
You would not have.
I think you underestimate the amount of random cackling I do when things are silly.
I don't know. So I was here, watching it by myself, and I was like, and I think I mentioned this in the show. At a certain point, I was like, I need to get some shit done, and I looked at my watch or my phone or whatever, and I was like, wait, there's still all this time left. I think I just paused it.
I was a little surprised because I was folding my clothes while the episode was on. Because honestly, I really have that many clothes unfolded at the moment. Not anymore. I folded them, but I was surprised that they got to the voting and then the episode abruptly ended, and I was like, "What the fuck? I still have like 10 shirts."
Oh wait! Oh, so it went the episode went quickly for you.
Yeah, but I was watering my house plants and washing the dishes and folding my clothes and shit. So,
Robert, let's play this. Let's do this new segment. You're gonna tell me now because I don't like this Brooklyn Heights. What happened on the latest episode of Canada versus the World 2?
What didn't happen on the latest episode of Canada versus the World?
So the girls obviously walk in, right? Were there any like funny moments in the workroom walk-in?
Minor moments that I remember. I watched this Friday, probably 30 seconds after it dropped on WoW Presents Plus, so I might not have the sharpest of recall for it all. But Alexis Mateo was the first one to walk in, which I thought was an interesting choice because why would you not have a Canadian walk in first for Canada versus the World? But whatever. Yeah. She walked in a bridal gown and she pretty much held court from that point on. It was a funny way for her to incorporate everyone as bridesmaids to her wedding, and I wonder if that's going to continue for the rest of the season. It's just a very easy theme.
She did that?
I mean, she's a smart girl who's very clever and witty, so I think that is why she decided to wear a bridal gown for her entrance. Did she know she was going to be the first to walk in? Probably not, but it worked out for her. And then it was just kind of, usually they bring in girls by country, at least as far as I've observed, but they didn't bring another American girl next. I think then that's when I think maybe Cheryl come in next. It doesn't necessarily matter, but it was just a random mismatch of countries coming in until all the girls had assembled. And then Brooklyn Heights came in. Unfortunately, you did not witness that, but
does she come in like a la RuPaul? Are the girls excited to see Brooklyn Heights? Or like, that must be weird for people like Kennedy and Alexis who were like, bitch, really? Like,
well, Kennedy walked in, and I'm only saying this because you brought it up or brought the name up and reminded me that Kennedy walked in and says, I don't recognize any of y'all. I haven't seen any of your seasons. Just point blank. Which is very much fits her like cantankerous grandma persona.
Yeah.
But it's very
Old
different
Lady
from
Brigade.
Yes. Very different from the younger twinks who are like, oh my God, I know everyone. I love everyone. This is so exciting.
She didn't even know Alexis?
No, maybe she didn't watch season 3. We have another BB Zahara Benet over here. But so to answer your original question, Brooklyn Heights comes in. The girls are excited. They enjoy her. I don't know if there's really this like expectation that she's not as, untouchable as RuPaul. But Alexis seemed happy to see her. I'm sure her and Kennedy have danced together before. They're girls. And I think I mentioned last week that Tynomi Banks had that Mayhem Miller-esque storyline of coming onto the show as a big name, fumbling, and then sort of going out with a certain amount of disgrace. And Tynomi and Brooklyn Heights are practically like drag, not drag sisters, but drag, not compatriots. They're at the same level of fame, I guess. Maybe not anymore now that she hosts the show. But Tynomi's on the cast also. What'd you say?
Peers.
Yeah, that's perfect. They love Brooklyn, I think. But much unlike you.
Don't like her. Okay, so they walk in, and then is there a mini challenge? Like, is it like a standard episode? Is it like a photo shoot or anything like that?
It was kind of strange because usually in the UK, or not the UK, but just the versus the world seasons in general, everyone walks in, the cast is assembled, then they dip out to the workroom or something else to do something else. They stayed, and then they assigned immediately, or rather they chose one of the three songs that they were going to perform a girl group's number for.
Okay.
And the only particularly notable thing from that I recall is that Eureka deliberately picks the song that La Cajena is assigned to or chose.
Okay.
And she chose it because in her outward expression, she thought La Cajena looked out of place and shy, and she wanted to basically protect her and offer her a way into the Anglo-Saxon sphere. La Cajena is the only one who doesn't speak English natively.
Okay, wait, hold on for a second. I have a question. So they have these three songs. They're going to do a girl group challenge. I think I'm a little confused. How are they dividing the girls up in the girl group challenge?
I believe they picked a name out of a hat or something. I forgot that little detail. Okay. And then the person whose name was picked chose one of the three songs.
Oh, and then Eureka's name was picked out of the hat?
Yeah, and then previously La Cajena, who was the first out on Drag Race France season 1, she chose, I can't remember the name. I feel so unprepared because I didn't know this was happening today, but she chose a song. She was alone. She clearly hadn't had any connections with anyone else, whereas everyone else is cutting up. So she went over to her, kind of like going to a sad kid eating alone during lunch.
Okay. So it was just Eureka and this La Cajena.
Well, and then Alexis Mateo ends up choosing that group as well, even though it's already clear that she has limited patience for Eureka. And then in the confessionals, Alexis turns right around immediately and says, "We'll see if La Cajena can keep up and fit in with us," which is just an interesting vibe to give off so quickly. But Alexis Mateo has been in the game for a bajillion and a half years, so
yeah. And so then they choose these girl group challenges, and then is there the typical like choreo session and recording session?
Of course, you even have your standard everyone de-drags, and then someone is surprised. They're like, "Oh my god, some of these people are hot." Yes, hot trade. I think Eureka calls Brooklyn Heights gay trade.
Okay, what does that mean?
It didn't mean anything. It was just weird. It just made no sense with any interpretation of trade these days.
I think trade has lost a lot of its meaning. I feel like it's meaningless now.
I agree, but Eureka made it somehow lose even more.
Yeah. So what is this part? So what was so amazing? Everybody's like, "Oh my god, this episode was amazing." What happens in this episode that like everyone's like, "Oh my god"?
Yeah. So on Canada season 4, they introduced this new mechanic of the competition called the Golden Beaver.
Oh yeah, I saw a mention of this. Okay.
And in the Golden Beaver format, the winner of the challenge is allowed to pick someone from the bottom 3 to spare from lip syncing for their life.
Oh, okay.
So that provides a lot of opportunity for things adjacent to alliances or strategy or one thing that Canada does better than the US is they incorporate Untucked into the show, but they keep it pretty short. They don't add a lot of filler, so it really cuts right to the point. And so that Untucked is oftentimes, because of the Golden Beaver dangling in front of some of the queen's faces, sort of riddled with high stakes and high drama.
Okay.
And so Alexis Mateo, Eureka, and La Cajena ended up being declared as the bottom 3. And the winner of the challenge, Lemon, was therefore offered a chance to save one of the 3.
Oh, and did she save one of the 3?
So everyone makes their case, as they always do, but they do it in front of the whole group.
Okay.
And Eureka is kind of glib about it and just says, dead ass, "I don't want to lip sync. I just don't feel like it. I don't want to do it."
Okay.
And she's just kind of being silly and flippant about it. And that upsets Alexis, who feels that it's disrespectful and that Eureka got the worst critiques anyway, so she should be lip syncing, and that there's just a lot of tension between these two American girls that would suggest clearly La Cajena should be safe so that Eureka and Alexis can battle it out. And then either way, we are going to lose one of the main American Titans from this season, from this cast, which Fierce Delicious said in a different capacity, but ultimately came around to the same conclusion. Unfortunately, Lemon ended up choosing to spare Alexis Mateo because she got the best critiques out of the three. Even though that made no sense with the fact that Lemon went home first on UK versus the World, won and made a whole, like, I understand La Cajena's position, blah, blah, blah. She just threw all that out the window. And it was Alexis versus La Cajena, and La Cajena went home. But what was exciting was...
Stop.
Did I say Alexis versus La Cajena? I meant to say Eureka.
Oh, yeah, was it Eureka?
I meant to say Eureka versus La Cajena.
Oh, okay. So I was like, I'm confused. I thought she saved her. Okay, so Eureka. And did you think Eureka truly won that lip sync?
I mean, she was doing high kicks while crying to this really strange... It was such a weird song, dude. Like, Canada likes to pick strange lip sync songs sometimes. It was just like a really solemn, possibly upbeat at the latter half of the song kind of ballad, and it just did not track with Eureka's high kicks and all the other flipping shenanigans. But it's not like La Cajena did a super powerful performance either way. So the artist at the end was crying, telling Eureka, "You really embodied the song." And I'm like, what the fuck is the song about then?
Oh, the artist was on the show.
Yeah, I could not tell you her name, but
I'm assuming Canada's very into this. They had to be a Canadian artist. Or did they only use Canadian artists on the Canada series?
I don't know if they only use Canadian artists for lip syncs, but they do tend to only bring non-union Canadian people for their judging panel.
And who are the other judges? So it's Brooklyn?
West Hollywood's own Brad Goretzky.
Yes. He doesn't bother me as much as Brooklyn, but I've seen that queen walking around.
Does he bother you as much as Like in Remcool?
Mm-mm. I know I think I heard horrible stories about Like and Remkule, but like he just that look is just really not attractive to me.
Well, they all go to the same plastic surgeon, so
yeah, but it's that like tanned, pulled back white guy. You know, and I'll tell you what it is too. This is like a weird thing I'm gonna say. There's something about that type of guy, even if they're not super tall, right? So it's not correlated with that for some reason. But like a lot of their extremities are really big. And what I'm talking about specifically are like their toes and their feet. And they have very specific like,
How do you know this?
Because I noticed it. I don't like it. So like in Remcule, I'm telling you, I've never seen him in flip-flops. But if you see, but if you saw him in flip-flops, the toes would be like super long and gigantic when like very spread apart. And it's a whole thing. And I'm just
you think he has fingerling potato toes?
Yes. I think 100% he has fingerling potato toes. And also it's just, look, I said this about the guy who's the head of the Paulette Fund, right? These queens, like in Remcule, whether it's him or not, they have been very mean to me or awful to me in West Hollywood. So I blame everyone that looks like them.
Okay, actually, what does that mean? Because I've had several exes say similar things, and personally, anytime I've ever been adjacent to groups of very conventionally attractive white insta-gays, I just pay them no mind, and they don't have the opportunity to be mean. So,
well, my circumstances have never been intentional. Like, there's a story I've told before, and I'll tell it again. But the guy who I'm going to talk about, I've never described him this way, was like a Like in Remcule. But before the current iteration of gay days and all this stuff at Disney, there used to be a private company. I don't know what the name of the company was, but they used to host this night called Odyssey Night. They used to do it at Knott's Berry Farm. They used to do it at Disneyland. And they would rent out the park. So they'd close the park. It was a separate ticket. You had a ticket and everything like that. You close the park and they opened it back up for this private event. And you would show up, and it was basically what's now Pride Night at Disney, but it was essentially that. And so I was a young gay in college, and I went to this Odyssey Night with some friends, some girlfriends, all girlfriends. And we were walking around, and there was some other twink my age with his friends. And I know now they were from like girl, like Encino or something. I remember some like Thousand Oaks. The Thousand Oaks sounds right, actually.
Oh, not the Thousand Oaks white gays.
Yes, it was like he was from like Thousand Oaks. I remember it was really far, and he worked at the mall.
Why don't you explain what that means for the audience?
Thousand Oaks is a faraway city in the valley, and like north of Los Angeles.
But the people from Thousand Oaks think they're from Los Angeles.
Oh no, that's like saying they're from Dana Point and from Los Angeles. Anyway,
it's like me growing up in Modesto saying I'm from San Francisco.
Yes, 100%, 100%. By the way, Christian came over yesterday. Robert couldn't make it yesterday because he wanted to play video games, but this little beach thing.
That's not true. I had a brunch and I did play video games after.
But you text me, girl, Mommy, Mama, I'm done going to the beach.
I said I don't have another beach driving me today because I knew that it would take me like an hour and a half.
It was awful.
To fucking get
awful.
there.
It was awful. And it was awful.
It took me 2 hours to get to Torrance Beach the day prior.
Yeah. Anyway. I leave. You and I will kiki off the air, even though if Christian listens, I don't think he does.
Girl, we're kikiing now.
We have nothing but pause. Okay, maybe I'll do it. Let's get through the drag race stuff first. Then we'll kiki should. Yeah. Okay. So let me do the like and Remcule. Let me wrap this up. Then we'll go back to drag race.
The Thousand Oaks gays at Knott's Berry Farm.
So I say before Disneyland. So I see this guy and I go, oh my god, he is so cute. And he's with like a couple of his friends, also girlfriends. So unbeknownst to me, my girlfriends go to his girlfriends and they decide to fix us up and put us together.
That's something on its own.
Well, we really hit it off. This guy, I can't remember his name now. This guy, yeah. We really hit it off. It was going really well. We went on rides together with them. It was going really well.
And not you on the teacups with this gay.
Yes. I was smitten, right? I was like, oh my God, he's so cute.
Disneyland love story.
My Disneyland love story. And then, to show you how long ago, like one of them gets a page or something like that, right?
Oh, work.
On their pager. And they're like, oh, our other friends are here. Like they were going to meet other friends. And I think I knew that, but they were like, oh yeah. And I think they were prearranged to meet at a certain location. Like, come with us. They're really nice, right? So I go, and then the dude I think I said, like, we were waiting for them. They were still trying to get in the park or something like that. So we're at by Star Tours. And then this guy says to me, I say to him, I go, look, I'm thirsty or something like that, right?
Mm-hmm.
I go, do you want anything? He goes, yeah, I'll take a soda, or I don't know. I don't remember what it was. Something. I went to go get something, and I brought him something too.
Oh no, this is about to be so sad.
I know, it's very sad. It's probably the genesis of my hatred for the like and Remcules.
This is the visual I have is
so I leave, camp. I get it, I come back, and by this point now, the friends are there.
Uh-huh.
And like and Remcule is talking to this gay. Okay.
Wait, like not Lycan specifically.
Not the Lycan Remcule.
Yeah. Just the archetype.
The doppelganger.
Yeah.
And talking to them, and I go, here. I think, you know what? His name was Nick. I go, here, Nick.
I probably hated him.
Yeah, I know, probably. I go, here, Nick. And Lycan Remcule whips around, looks me up and down.
Mm-hmm.
Nick is like just standing there, takes the drink from me, and does that. And I'm thinking, even though this is a visual thing I'm going to do, I'm thinking the way I do it, people are going to be able to see my face in the theater of the mind.
I see it already.
But he takes the drink and he goes, "Thank you," like "Thank you," and like stands in front of him, like, "Thanks, honey. That's so sweet." And then turns around, and then the whole swarm of the friends move on, and he's like not reaching back, but theoretically, like he was like, ah. And I never saw him again. My friends and I were just like, oh, what just happened right there?
And you were standing there sad with your Mickey Mouse balloon and your head down, and
the little
Astro ride flying behind you with all these happy kids, and you're just crying.
Me in the corner.
Watching you kiss her?
Watching you kiss Lycan Remcule. Oh, anyway.
Poor baby Josito.
Yes, I was dancing on my own.
So, wait, one supposedly kind of conventionally hot white gay is mean to you, and now you hate the whole breed?
Oh, I'm sure I have other stories too. That was just the one that came to mind. Look, here's the thing. That's the thing that's really funny, is I think I have pretty vanilla, creepy old man twink taste. But there is something about this kind of guy that I just find really just physically, I do find them very unattractive. Very, very unattractive. You know who would be the celebrity patron saint? What is his name? And actually, I've met this actor, and Ted McGinley, right?
Give me a second.
Ted McGinley, he was like on every sitcom in the 70s. In fact, there was a rule on Jump the Shark that if Ted McGinley joined the show was doomed. But, and Ted McGinley is very nice, but he has that look. Mitt Romney has that look. Oh, it's just a look I don't like. If someone says my friend John Paul likes those kinds of guys, and he'll point them out. I'm like, really? And
They look like men you'd see in a Sears catalog.
Yes.
They're just very safe, standard, square-jawed.
Yeah, which is
short
what your
hair.
style too.
Yeah, but I do prefer them to be a little bit like a touch shorter and a touch. I'm not attracted to masculinity, and particularly like performative masculinity. I just kind of find it off-putting and weirdly performative. Wow, I find performative masculinity performative. I just find it false, and there's a lot of like macho is not the move for me, but I'd say that these guys are like vaguely macho.
It's
They could
funny that you
use
say that.
a tiny shred left. I think I'd be into it.
You know what's so funny? You say that. I just saw this guy today. I don't know how I came across him, and it was. Remember, it said famous TikToker who does gay porn. I don't know and I don't remember his name or anything like that, right? But I see him, I go, he's very my type. In fact, I can see this guy being very in the Venn diagram of me and our types, right?
Okay.
Because he's kind
What's
of
his name?
square-jawed, I can't remember his name, kind of masculine, whatever, right? And,
Kind of
that's what-
masculine is the point.
No, I'm sorry. I shouldn't have said that. Sorry. No.
Like
no.
vaguely masculine is
Yeah,
fine.
you're right. I'm with you. No, like short, square-jawed, all that, right?
I would never date someone who makes me listen to the NFL every Sunday.
Yeah. Then, girl, you go to high tops. Then
I'm not listening to the game.
Yeah. Then I clicked on there was promoting some video he was in. So I think I know where I saw him. And I saw the clip, and he was like, "Yeah, bro. Yeah, dude, do it." Like, and I'm like, no, it's gone.
Fuck yeah, man.
Fuck yeah, dude. Fuck just like that, bro. Oh, fuck yeah.
Have you seen that subgenre of tweet that's basically like, "Yeah, bro, I just want to entwine my hand with yours for the rest of forever, bro." I chose a really bad sentence to say, but it's just highly poetic, sentimental things ending with bro and dude.
Yeah. I like you, bro.
Bro is such a foreign word in my mouth.
I'll say it, but I say bruh. I think bruh is super funny. I don't know why. So I'll say a bruh. But anyway. Okay, so back to Canada. So they have this untucked. She chooses her. And so this was the gag of it all. But was it just the gag that made the episode good, or was it actually a good episode?
Well, it was a good episode in the sense that we saw a lot of good drag, which, it's... We can say whatever we want about All Stars 9, but at least this last episode, there literally wasn't any drag. So it had that on it. It had stakes, very explicit ones, a clear elimination, some powerhouses that make good television, like Fierce Delicious, Alexis, Eureka. I'm sure the other ones will come into their own in due time. It just felt much in the way that I feel like Drag Race Canada always feels, like true Drag Race, like old school, back to basics Drag Race. And that's what made it good, especially with Alexis Mateo's like simmering fury as she's trying to keep herself composed, but you can tell how passionate and still incredibly melodramatic she is. It's just fun.
Well, that's my question. My question to you is, let's take out, and I don't know anything about these other queens, but let's take out Alexis, let's take out Eureka, let's take out Kennedy, because Kennedy, in theory, isn't good television, but there's something about her quiet grumpiness that makes it compelling television. She is compelling.
Yeah.
Take those three queens out. Is the show still good?
it would have a rougher time, but it still would have Fierce Delicious.
I don't know anything about Fierce Delicious, so
it's Christian on the show.
Oh God.
And that was my take when Fierce Delicious was in the first. Fierce Delicious was on every episode of season 3, but at the first few episodes, I'm like, this bratty little like all powerful, assuming twink is just so annoying, and just get rid of her. But then after I accept the person for who they are, and then start to see the good in them, I realize, oh no, this person's actually silly as shit, and I love watching them be foolish.
Just like you feel about Christian.
Well, I mean, I love Christian in other positive ways as well.
So, okay, well, that's not, and so it landed up that La Costa Brava, or what's her name again?
La Cajena, who
La Cajena.
She's a double pork chop now.
She's a double pork chop now.
But, you know, unfortunately, her drag had not really elevated too much, at least what she was able to show from this one episode. And she was just clearly very uncomfortable anytime the camera panned to her entire body language was like she was like shrinking up against herself into her shoulders with her chin, like just very, it was very she was just uncomfortable. It was like Gothy Ken doll, but like not Gothy Ken doll.
Oh, Gothy Ken doll. Anyway,
yeah, but it's good. I can't wait. Next week is it's a parody or a send up of The Traitors, which Fierce Delicious was on Traitors Canada. She didn't win. She didn't do too well, actually. But I think the gays in general have been yearning for a Traitors parody. So hopefully Canada is able to pull it off.
Well, first of all, if anybody is really good at editing episodes of like editing video, I don't even get to be that talented. If anyone wants to put in the time to edit shows and edit Brooklyn Heights out and then drop it in a Google Drive for me or something, I will watch the show. I just don't want to see Brooklyn Heights.
She's really not that bad. And I told you that I felt the same about her after season 11. I was like, or during season 11, I was like, please, no more of this joke stealing ballerina straight A student. I fucking had it. But as Canada's gone on, so has my appreciation grown of her.
Next, I have a question. I'm gonna have a question for you, and I want you to answer the question. But before you answer the question, I have not a follow-up question, but I'm gonna add a question to it.
So you're
my
saying
question
I'm walking
is,
into a trap.
No. The question is, who were the 2 to 3 queens that you're like, these are the ones to watch? But here's the question. Are any of them surprises where like a week ago you wouldn't have thought this?
No surprises.
Okay, no surprises. Who were the 2 to 3 queens to watch?
I mean, it's Alexis, Eureka, and Kennedy. It's so Eureka and Alexis have been on 4 times. They know the gig. You know, it's kind of unfortunate that for some reason the fandom likes to be, oh, we're so progressive. We love to champion the small guy. We love to be give everyone their fair shakes and shots and what have you, but cannot wait to shit on Canada versus the world as like a season that's below Queens. Like something that's like just like a really ugly, dirty, how can you deign to be on Canada versus the world? Whereas I think that it's funny and silly and camp, and more TV is more TV. Even if not a lot of people watch Crave, which is how it's aired in Canada, the girls still get the chance to, you know, have an audience again. So I don't think that they're below it. Beneath it. It's beneath them. Excuse me.
Do you remember the lyric that Darian Lake sang in "Oh No, She Better Don't"?
A dirty girl walking on the dirty street or something. Big feet, looking discreet. I do not recall.
Oh, let me see if I can find it. Oh, but I can't play songs on here for many reasons. Not just legally, just it's hard to do. Okay. But I remember when you were saying that, I was like, oh, is Canada like the not a person, so I can't say that, but the embodiment of those lyrics?
I mean, I'm not saying that she's the best, but she ain't the worst.
Okay.
If RuPaul's number 1, Canada number 2.
Yeah. Eyes on the prize. Is that what it is?
I don't know. I don't listen to any of these songs.
All right. So, okay, one more drag-related thing, and then we'll get to the Kiki stuff, which I've decided is going to be a Patreon-only thing. So we'll end the show, and then we'll just after the song ends or whatever.
It's all the same to me, bro.
Yeah. So, Willem got kicked out of DragCon. I said DragCon. Sorry. This weekend. According to Willem. So according to Willem, she showed up to DragCon. She bought a ticket. She wasn't an invited guest. She bought a ticket, and the second she showed up on property, World of Wonder had security and police following her around. And she was like, whatever, and just doing her thing at DragCon. And then she decided to go backstage because she wanted to walk the pink runway. And then when she went backstage is when they decided to escort her off the property. She speculates it's because they wanted to do it where people couldn't see that this was happening. Some people were like, well, no, you didn't have a pass to go backstage. And you went backstage. What is your take, not only on this situation, Robert, but also just the Willemness of Willem?
I feel like I wonder if this is like an LA broader sisterhood foolish parasocial thing, but I feel like I have a strangely high tolerance for Willem's antics. I'm not as immediately irked when I hear that something else has happened in Willem's long standing feud, possibly one-sided with World of Wonder. That said, I do feel like cons have rules and there are security procedures to respect. And if you're just strutting about, even though, yeah, you are one of the original OG girls, there were proper channels to participate in the Queen Walk if that was something that you wanted to do, right? Not just, the day of decide, well, I can do this, so I'm going to flaunt everything that is providing structure to this fucking convention and just expect to be treated like, I guess the way Willem expects to be treated really everywhere, which is that the rules don't apply, right?
Mm-hmm.
What? I know in the past Willem has said that they've purchased the booth for DragCon and just didn't receive the warmest reception, but the point is that they have been a vendor at DragCon before, so I guess I wonder why this year they decided I'm going to buy a regular ticket and then expect to be treated as a celebrity. It's just an unfortunate sort of dissonance between expectation and reality there.
Well, there's also another thing too, where like if there was an afterthought con and somebody who was just constantly talking shit about me and afterthought shows and fuck them, they had a whole podcast about it, if they showed up, I'd be like, no, I guess you can come here, but like, we don't want you here.
Sure. And also, Willem's known to be a rabble rouser, and according to him, his storytelling has confronted RuPaul in the past verbally and loudly about like several different personal matters and show related matters. So why would you, especially at an event like DragCon where RuPaul is supposed to be, queen of the affair, you can't really have a former contestant of the show like screaming obscenities at RuPaul and like accusing him of being a bad person and God knows what else.
It's kind of like if the king wisely had Maleficent escorted out of the christening, and everyone's like, "Guy, that's so mean to do that to Maleficent." Is it though? Is it, Robert?
I didn't watch.
Sleeping Beauty is actually I only barely saw it like in the past 5 to 10 years, and was very surprised how actually very good it is. It's actually a good film.
Oh, I thought you meant the live action.
No.
The Sleeping Beauty, I'm sure I've seen it, if not all in one sit down. I'm sure I've seen it through various clips.
The animated film is quite good, actually.
Yeah.
All right.
Well, that's like me talking about my new favorite, Ponyo.
Oh, yeah, you're right. Well, here's what we're going to do. We're going to call it a day there. Like I said, we are going to Kiki for a bit. We're going to do it after. And for people who think there's some fancy editing going on, no, I'm going to fade the music out. I'm going to sit here and stare at my computer screen. And then when the music fades out, I'll just continue talking. But we'll see you guys if you're leaving us here next week.